good day, my friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion. How are you all doing today? I hope you said great. I am excited today. I'm in Las Vegas and we are going to the brand new punk rock museum. Now what's cool and interesting about what they're doing is when you take the tour, it's actually given by a punk rocker, and you can look on their website and they have a schedule of all the famous bands and people that are available to take the tour with. And I saw that my favorite band has someone doing the tour today. I'm excited because you know how it all started was my sister and I went to see the band No Doubt, which was a pretty popular band when I was in high school, and their opening band was the Vandals. And the guitar player, Warren FITZGERALD, known as Waffy, it was his birthday that night, and Gwen Stefani and some of the other band members brought him out a birthday cake, threw it in his face, and then he played one of the most amazing shows I've ever seen, throwing cake out into the audience, sliding all over the stage, and I got really heavy into the band. I bought every CD, I had about 5 shirts, I knew everything about him, and today he's giving the tour. So let's go meet Warren. We are here, and if you want to take a tour with people like members of Sick of It All, Agnostic Front, I was just told Fat Mike's inside right now from NoFX. That is the kind of experience you can get here. I actually wanted to do this tour with Warren so bad. That's what made me plan my trip out to Vegas from Florida. And I know Joe Escalante from the Vandals also doing a tour here. I have met Warren before. When I first moved to Hollywood, I worked for a rock and roll label, and they shared a space with Josh Abrams, the producer, and he produced one of the Vandals album, and I met them there. Here's the front lobby, and that guy that just walked by in the green lime pants was Warren. Check out the awesome merch up here. And you can take the tour without it being guided, I believe, as well. I think I'm gonna need that one that says Howdy Punker. So I'm waiting for the tour to start. I'm checking out the front. Look, the front counter is made out of a gig road case. If you're wondering who they belong to, NoFX. That's the Fat Records. I think that is so cool. Big ups to Fat Mike for doing all this. Here on the wall they have a big picture from CBGB's. Even though it's no longer there, when I went to New York City I vlogged and showed where it was, and some of the handprints and stuff are still on the sidewalks out front. Alright, it's that time to start.
We're neighbors. Your name?
Jordan.
Jordan, how are you?
Huge fan of you, man.
Oh, thank you.
I saw you open for No Doubt on your birthday on the Quickening tour, and they drug you through the cake.
Oh my God, that's right. That's right.
And I was a fan ever since. I started buying all the shirts, every record.
Interesting. Okay. Well, there's lots. Oh yeah, you're gonna enjoy this tour then. Yes. There's lots going on. Where are you from?
Ohio.
Ohio. What part?
Near Dayton. That's where I saw you play.
My girlfriend lives in, which came from Columbus.
Oh, very close.
This is my favorite. This speaks to me. I don't know if it's like, I think it's the classy wine, and like there's something. It's the high and low mixed together, nonsensical. Like just like that's punk to me. The very well played, sir. Right? Something we'll notice here is that recurring theme. How baby-faced everyone. Look at what child. Like, these are children. It's crazy. Like everyone's like darn gosh, they're like, what? Are you kidding me? Harley Flanagan from the Chromatics and Poet and everyone can see here there's a moment occurring. Obviously, it's great. I tend to, I don't know for whatever reason, I always find with people in the ones that aren't the subject of the photo, it's usually kind of sets an interesting tone for it. There's a running count on how many penises there are displayed in the things here. I think it's around 12. So I'll point when we get to there's a debate over what is or not. We can all weigh in because we'll keep it democratic. Fun thing here too on this, something that really stood out to me, the opening act for the New York Dolls for this $4 concert was. It's Rush. That's Rush.
That's crazy.
That bonkers. That's weird. I can't weird like that. That's the thing that kind of stops me in my tracks every time I see all the original stuff. And this is another thing. The museum-y. I'm gonna say it's a word. It's a word. Okay. Museum-y. This is Joan Jett's jacket and her shoes. been hand drawn and everything, but you get a sense of proportion of the people, you know, because something. Fletcher from Pennywise is like a Wookiee, and then you've got the fun size, you know. I'd say I don't think from a Les Paul, this is a good kind of standard bearer. Like, okay, I know the size of Les Paul, I can kind of figure out the person currently at Ford, but this does bring it home where you're like, and she's badass. Like that, I like that. Something that fight that's the original CBGB's bathroom, because I've seen that personally many times. That belongs to the museum, because like that doesn't just happen. That's graffiti on top of graffiti, and like. My theory is like if you're a plumber that's a bad person, that would be the hell you go to. You have to clean that place. Yeah, Sid Vicious, Nancy. This is, I'm not sure who this person is, but he doesn't seem to know either. But New York Dolls, of course. And again, the satisfying thing of a museum, which I'm tickled every time you see the thing, and then there's the person in the thing. You go, oh my, Blondie was worried. Well, huh? That's exciting. And of course all this Dead Boys, all this whole kind of I say punk rock before it actually properly had a name. And I would also argue, like the spirit of punk rock has been around since the dawn of time. Like just maybe didn't have. Van Gogh is punk in my opinion, quite a super punk. Both there's a whole list of people that historically I would say were punk. And Ramones, of course the Ramones. We've got this is the Matt Freeman bass, but done in style of the CJ from the Ramones donated, I believe. And the Ramones, like, it's always interesting. Like, it's funny to see where you see the pictures of Sid Vicious and he's got a Ramones button on or a New York Dolls button on, like that. Like that cycle continues throughout this whole thing, which I just like. It's, I don't know. There's something kind of like heartwarming about that. Like you're like, oh, they like those weirdos, and then they were their own kind of weirdos, and then that weirdo went into, you know, whatever. It's the circle of life, I suppose. And also interesting, a lot of stuff in here. And, by the way, feel free to, you know, if something's drawing you in, take your time. If you have any questions, take pictures, whatever. This is a punk museum. You can do whatever you want. Like the whole punk rock thing, what I find beautiful about all this, and particularly in the Museums of the Spirit, it's all you do it yourself. They didn't hire a graphics guy. You know, this was the master for the printing and the thing. Like, and it's all like use the technology used for a ransom note. You know, he's kind of if you got paste and then you put it together and then you replicate. There's Johnny Thunder's guitar. That's the Les Paul Jr. I always want to. I never had one of these. I do want to play it, but it's behind glass. But
you gotta play Chinese rocks.
I know, exactly. Chinese rocks, written by D.D. Ramone. All this kind of like, all the kind of like. See, if anything, it's the community of weirdos. It's like in high school with the cafeteria. There's the one table where the D&D guys and the nerd people, like everyone kind of gets together and does, you know. And what do we have in common? Well, most people don't like us, so we're doing everything or whatever. So, and apparently, this is the most expensive item that was purchased for all this. I don't know the price, but you know, I can see that you know, Johnny Thunder's very influential. But I do love that guitar. And little baby Johnny Thunder's, little John with Santa Claus. Like that's true. Like all these things. Jacket. He's like, there it is. And that's the key from. He's passed on. This is the key from the hotel room where he. Last thing. This is his
wow.
personal leather saddlebag, for which let's say it's contraband, or maybe things that you know. Certain illicit items were sort of that, but it is kind of badass because I don't know if you wear that as a vest. You wear saddlebag as a vest? Seems like you could. I don't know. Looks like it. I'm not an equestrian. I don't know much about it. I'm working on it. But Heartbreakers, of course. Max is Kansas City. All of the kinds of things. Misfits. Early on, and it's a very different aesthetic. You know, you got like, well, we're from New Jersey, and they're. I don't know if you. Having met, well, I met Jerry a few times, and there's like a soprano vibe, but like a spooky monster vibe. It's an interesting kind of collection, but the aesthetic. This is Glenn Danzig's the spikes, you know, or excuse me, Jerry's spikes, but Glenn did the famous brick, evil brick. So, and all this, you know, photo shoot in the graveyard. That's very, you know, it's spooky. You know, you know, and like a whole spirit of it, of like, this is a, you know, kind of, it's difficult to put everything in a nice neat category, but they're doing their own weird thing in their own special way, and, you know, doing it from the ground up, putting out their own records and so on and so forth. And you've got the more fun, spooky version of that too, where you're like, oh man, I want a black light poster too, or whatever that is. Just kind of, and that, you can see where it overlaps. And the whole East Coast, West Coast thing is very interesting too, as far as the general spirit of it. Like, doesn't snow in Southern California, so you're not going to have as many boots or leather, you know, leather jackets and all that kind of stuff. There's more skateboard stuff. There's more surf stuff. This is a kind of an amazing picture. This was, we donated. It's the photographer. This is the last Sex Pistols show in San Francisco. Joe Starr's last bag of, I don't know if medicinal, but marijuana. This is that's was donated, and I'm not sure exactly the backstory, but that's that PIL having a little Christmas thing. Punk rock is for the children. The band, Captain Sensible, his jumper, or as we say in America, sweater. You know, it's like his beret. You can wear a beret. You can call yourself captain. You don't have to be in any, you know, affiliation. Like the cake. Look at that. Did you know they make cakes like that? That's badass. And they think like Burlington Cake Factory or something like that. One of these. And like so, but there's a few like I'm more goofy than goth, but like certainly the people that do goth legitimately, Dave Aiden is one of them. He very well could be immortal. I put Peter Murphy from Bauhaus in the same category, and then of course I'm hoping that more shows up here of the Toy Dolls. Now that's children's music, just like after a you know, kind of sugar binge. Love it, great stuff. Very huge influence on my you know, understanding of music and how you can make it fun and snotty at the same time, and you know, just that whole playful spirit of it too, and the Damned of course too, and the beret. I love the beret, the accessories, so many interesting things. You're going to see ascots, the royalty checks, and it's the amount, $8.34. Like, congratulations on your music career. Exactly. Go on, get something small. And this is Pat Smear's real guitar, Hagstrom. There's a few of these. It's kind of a economy model. I have a number of these. Swedish, and Elvis Presley played them also. And so Volvo, IKEA, Hagstrom. We've got this Swedish thing going on. The bass, early Black Flag, Keith Morris singing before the Circle Jerks. I love what's going on there. Like there's some beer left. They're fighting over it. I presume. This year, this is SST from Black Flag from the record label. Fat Mike would also point out, which I wasn't aware of earlier, that's solid state technology, what it stands for. And apparently, someone was a bit of a gearhead or whatever, or what do you call that? Tinkerer? Yeah, something like that. There was tinkering going on.
Mike Ness's scratch.
Duct tape. Look for the duct tape. There's lots of duct tape here. It's like little Easter eggs. And duct tape, there would be no punk rock without duct tape, I think. Like, it's a unique, it's a life hack that they're beyond definition. And all this, for me, is very personal because it's like Orange County. It's like you got Social Distortion, you've got Agent Orange, and then you've got like, and I like that, you know, they're from the same city, but this is one thing, you know, look, we wanted to dig little, you know, tiny thing, and I wanted to live the other jacket, you know, like, but we hang up, we're all friends here. This is one of my favorite band shots. Like, I don't know the story behind it, but the fact, there's like 9 things that are amazing. The headline, the neck brace, 666, the whole thing, the band, just all of that, very, you know, creates a lot of questions, and of course, the baby face, are you kidding me? Dark crash week for his mom to pick him up or whatever's going on here. Maybe Pat Smear. And here we have, this is a great movie, Joe Jett, Vita Ford. These are people having a good time. That's like, like, you walk, that makes me delightful. Does anyone know who this person is? He's recurring. This is Rodney Bingenheimer. Very good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Rodney on the Rock.
Yes, the feathered hair is kind of, his hair kind of evolves throughout the story. You'll see it. This was I think at his disc, Rodney's English Disco. Anyone know who this is? And I'll give you a hint. She has the beat. Okay, it's the go. She's playing the Carlisle. Yes, exactly. As he went on to read about or something, like you take away the set list, the band has no idea what to do. But still, longer we put up on these young little kleptomaniacs, you know it's going to get stolen at some point. So, but there's some solutions that are presented throughout this journey that I find interesting. Tony Sly from No Use for a Name had the best solution. It's right around the corner. Oh, Rodney, look, someone discovered the Ramones.
Yeah.
Look at that. Okay, and the plot will thicken. The documentary, The Mayor of Sunset Strip, really kind of documents his whole thing. If anyone's going to do any post-museum rabbit holing, that's an interesting one. More than one U.S. Navy beret floating around at a punk show. It seems unlikely.
He thinks that's like nuts up there.
He's either mesmerized or annoyed, or he owes him $1. I don't know what's going on. Something's happening here. And Sean Stern, who also does punk rock bowling, a very local kind of big event. Henry Rollins, looking very. Has anyone seen the movie Hair? From the 19th musical Hair?
Yeah.
Give me a head. He looks like Treat Williams, like the star of the movie Hair. Like it seems uncanny to me for some reason. I can't look at this and not think of the movie Hair. So third thing of like, this guy's like, what the fuck's wrong with these people? Like, and he's a train wreck. This guy's, but he's like, I don't know. You guys look ridiculous. I don't know. There's an argument. You look ridiculous, sir. Like this, yeah. This is definitely like Smithsonian caliber. Starting over here with you got. There's the thing. The thing is, there's the thing, and there's the thing in the album. That's Ron Emery's Orange amp, the real one. There's the cabinet. You can see the stencils. They're still there. It's crazy. Todd Barnes' drum. When this EP was recorded, the drummer, he's an amazing drummer. He's also passed on, but he was 15 years old when he did that record, and he's one of the more influential kind of punkers, like very fast kind of thing. And I just have to say, personally, like I gravitate towards what, like I don't know what these are even called. Yeah. Like I know they're tom toms, but they're like tom. So like yellow matching cowbell. Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, yes. Like if I was 11, I would have played the drums if I had seen this when I was a kid. I would definitely went that direction. But then you got that, and then you've got Bill Stevenson. You know, kind of more, this more dressed down, kind of like a pragmatic kind of.
From Black Flag.
Black Flag and Descendants, amazing drummer also. This Tom has a particularly interesting story. It is from the band Scream. Dave Grohl's drum, when he was playing in the band Scream. You can tell they're from DC, the 930 Club, the little stickers, kind of a good hint on that. Steve Soda's bass from Adolescents. Chet's guitar from Wasted Youth. This is Ramones, fucking Stooges. Sex Pistols on an 8-track? Are you kidding? I didn't know that these were in existence. Live at CBGB's, like, it's crazy. So apparently, someone hoarded all the good 8-tracks and decided to put it in a museum at some point in time. And this also, yeah, look at that player. That thing, it's like, and look at the condition it's in. This is not, that's. It's got to be from like the early '80s, the latest, like and it's like I don't know, that thing kicks ass. If 8-tracks didn't suck so hard, I would almost turn the corner just from that player alone. And then also Devo, another wonderful band I'm a fan of, and I put them under the punk thing. They made de-evolution. There's a whole manifesto. This is very thought through, and the idea like, hey, you ever notice that people kind of dumb? Or like we've all experienced that, And so Jerry and his Jerry Casale, this is his energy dome hat based off of the the Aztec temples. That's how they manufacture the vacuum kind of thing or whatever. And wearing them, his brother Bob Casale produced the Vandals album in 1990. Bob 2, as he's also known. I was giddy and starstruck the whole time too. I love Devo, and Josh, our drummer, went on to play with them continuously. So, and which is actually heartwarming because like that is truly his favorite band. The wood paneling, the kind of, the couch, and what's great about this museum, it's like it's not a display couch, it's a real couch. It's not like the banana glued to the wall kind of thing. This is real. It's real, exactly. It's functional and fun. This is NoFX, and that's how long NoFX been around.
Oh, he said that's Fat Mike's first skateboard.
And
From NoFX.
Rock it's not generally award winning, I would say, like, but there's trophies involved sometimes. They're bowling trophies. These are from the punk rock bowling. Good for them. And one other personal thing, that the singer of the Vandals, Dave Quackenbush, who I've known there's a flyer from the night I met him. We were both in separate bands. I was in my band, Don't Know. He's in the band of Falling Idols. And on bass was Randy Bradbury, who plays in Pennywise. So that was an interesting night in November 22nd, 1985. This one,
Misfits.
the more I look at this one, the more I think this is an amazing picture. Because, first of all, the mayhem. Like, you've got this guy, the thing, and then someone underneath all that shit. And then you have to start a coffee cup. How is that even possible?
I just drew a coffee cup.
As far as the, what do you call that, the construction of the what's it called when they talk about right frame stuff? Whatever, symmetry, there's a word for it. How bad is it? Like perfectly up front. And then also, so you notice the real museum? There's a fuse box. Someone came in and like, vertically this perfectly. If I did this in my own house, it would be sad. I would electrocute myself probably. This is my favorite press, like, group shot for a band. I love Flipper. I was a fan of them. I had no idea what they looked like. I just had their albums and stuff. But the genuine smiles going on here. This is like, it's, you know, the so not punk, it's punk kind of thing. Like where they are, and you hand these guys a couple of beers, and they're the happiest people in the world. And Kurt Cobain was a big fan of this band. They're very, you know, witty, fun with that cut out thing. I mean, and from the Bay Area, that kind of this, that childlike. I mean, how much more childlike can you fucking be? That's I love that. It feels like a mime school dropout kind of vibe or whatever. And then Ascot, and it's like interesting things. That was just kind of gnarly. It's intense, and this kind of someone brought a dead guy to the concert. That was normal. Like I remember we played a show at the Off-Broadway, and someone put a chicken foot underneath the windshield wiper, and I'm like, there was like voodoo going on in the city. Like it's like this kind of thing was scary, a little scary, a little spooky thing here. What's going on here? I don't know. Like it's so that kind of vibe of just I'm so curious. If I really do want to know what's going on there. Gilman Street, and that's friggin' this is Operation Ivy. This is you know, Tim's guitar, left-handed.
Wow.
Lint. There's a very large blown up picture of this that later on we'll see. And his first guitar, I like the purchase price, $175, age 14. You know, that's such a perfect start, and just absolutely, you know, screams punk cred. You know, all of it does. And to get a left-hand guitar is really difficult, especially difficult to get a guitar when you're 14. And RKL, who I think they originated from Santa Barbara, but the San Francisco band generally. Big Fat Mike went to his house about a year and a half ago before he moved out here, and went through a whole thing. Like Little Joey, the bass player who's also in Lagwagon, this is his bass, the Steinberger, the no headstock kind of futuristic thing. There was such an influence on NoFX that Fat Mike went out and got one of these basses, assuming that was the magic trick of like, oh, if you want to sound like that, you have to have a bass or whatever. A huge influence, fun, just an amazing band. I don't, you know, if you're not aware, dig into it. It's fantastic, and just also this hand-drawn art, like that's on notebook paper. That was done probably in detention or whatever, and it's amazing.
In detention.
Like, just really well done, and you know, you've got the low-effort people, and then you've got the like natural talent. So, and the handwritten lyrics. This is, you know, a little different vibe, but what a good time. Look at this. These people are having fun. I don't know if it's Halloween. It doesn't matter. I hope it's not. You know, and just like, yeah, this is Murphy's Law having a great time, and then the fantastic sick of it all. And look how sharp dressed and tidy these individuals are. And exactly like that. Like it's very interesting. A little piece of a little piece of history, literally, inside. That's part of the facade that was pulled off, and the guys from Sick of It All donated. And agnostic front again. And I like the Daze. One of my favorite pictures in this whole museum is Vinny right here holding his bun huggers that has stenciled his name on it, and like it's like a life hack. He's so fucking proud too. Like he's like, I'm never gonna mix my underwear with anyone. These are mine. It's just like, I don't know. That makes me very happy.
It's the start of the day of the week.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, these are Tuesdays. Yeah.
Beastie
Here's how
Boys.
close the Beastie Boys
For
are.
$1.
$1.
Wow.
And you know that this is being a band. Guaranteed there were people showing up. I'm on the guest list. I guarantee that was the whole thing. Well, no, well, get your supervisor. Every time I look at this one, I always think
Bad
like
brains.
anyone in this crowd, like if you had a time machine and went back and said you're going to be on the wall of the museum, like you could tell them so many other things that they would probably believe that aren't true. You'd be like, well, we got rocket packs in 2023. No, you get this picture, this particular moment of DC weirdos collected together. You're going to be that's crazy to me. The winner of the low effort contest, like say the most resourceful or optimized punk kind of effort thing, is this flyer. First of all, notebook paper. 5 bands: Minor Threat, MDC, SSD Control, Scream, Bullocks. Oh, and then with another pen later on, like afterthought. Oh, Agnostic Front. Here tomorrow, Friday night. Just so as a rock promoter, that they really did their job. They're done. Interesting. The unlikeliest of all things in the world, selling independent release of all fucking time. 11 million. I think it's closer to probably 13 at this point.
Offspring.
Offspring. I knew these guys forever. Like they would open for the Vandals. We're like, oh, Offspring, whatever. Like if you were like, hey, cool, they're playing. They're on that fun. Lovely people. It's like I would say it's kind of like the idea of punk rock. I love this record. It's like the world came around in some weird way that, like, my theory is if you ran time 100 times, what happened with this might have happened once or twice. It just seems so unlikely. And so all of a sudden, after CBG, it's a little tiny thing. Look at this. What's going on here? It's a friggin' 11 million. This is Dexter's first stamp. Like another fellow Orange County. I had a very similar, growing up experience. This is this is Joe Escalante, the bass player of the Vandals here with Dexter. This is funny. This was 1995 or 94. This was the first kind of big outdoor Southern California concert. It was at the Velodrome. Thousands of kids, everyone there. Everyone, it was face to face. Sublime, No Doubt, Vandals, DB. All of a sudden, our little word, they're on the radio. They're everywhere, and it's super legit. It was a similar experience too, obviously, with Green Day. And again, super satisfying. There's the guitar, here it is, that's really him. And
wow.
Mike's bass. Billy Joel's first amp. I'm going to say Dexter had a little bit easier start. I think this is a Gallon, I don't even think this is a guitar amp. I think it's a bass. Gallon Kruger only makes bass gears, as far as I'm aware. So, little Billy Joel, good for him. And the interesting thing, like with that calendar, Mike Ness's calendar, like the handwritten things, then we did the first kind of like arena tour the Vandals did with the Lunatics across the U.S. And it was all like mainstream, huge venues, up to 10,000 or whatever. So you have these touring itineraries. And what's funny about this, what I discovered on this tour, was that it has everyone's information, all the hotels. One of them got stolen, and some saboteur punk fan went and started canceling all the hotels. Which is like, it's pretty funny though. Like, you're like, oh, God, what can we do with this? We're alive. So, okay. So that was, they're usually handed out under great discretion. They're like, don't lose your fucking laminate, don't lose your fucking tour itinerary, because I don't want to have to rebook these hotels. And so that whole mainstream thing, it was just a very, I'm still recovering because it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's awesome. It's a very kind of, not that it requires commercial success as a validation, but it's a validation that whatever. Chalk one up for the weirdos. Congratulations. Fat Mike donated this. Kurt Cobain. This is the real couch, and feel free to take a picture, sit down, or whatever you want. This was in his house. This was Kurt Cobain. He was hired to produce the Meat Puppets record. It was a little narcoleptic apparently, so it wasn't a huge help with the production. But someone snapped this photo, and this was in the lounge of the. I don't know which specific studio it was, but yeah, that's the real deal. Perfect. That's his real jacket. And Nirvana, they're punk, as far as I'm concerned. When they they were, I would say that, you know, that happened in 91 that Nevermind came out, or what, Nevermind. Is it Nevermind? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Nevermind.
Yeah.
Nevermind the Bullocks. Yes, Nevermind. They were playing all the same venues, all the punk bands, you know, Sub Pop, all the whole thing. You know, they won fucking Grammy. That's unheard of. And then the best is the category. Best alternative music performance. Like, there's music, and then there's alternative music, and the Academy is saying, congratulations on whatever that noise is. So someone showed up wearing a shirt that said, Pearl Jovi? Basically, Bon Jovi meets Pearl Jam kind of mashup T-shirt that they made themselves. That Kurt Cobain traded for that T-shirt his jacket, and so that's how it ended up here, donated, which is kind of amazing. I don't know. Which, again, how punk is that? You're like, oh, you're making fun of a band I'm kind of maybe not getting along with too well? I will trade you my jacket for that. Operation Ivy's last show, Gilman Street. The poster, the lineup's great. You know, I love that Green Day's the very opening. Like, so, five bands, you got that. The Babyface thing. The V-neck. Where'd you get that? I love it. And again, Babyface, the guitar we saw earlier, it's just right down to even the things, that's there. And then Lucas stuck around for the whole concert.
Oh, Billy Joe.
That's crazy, yeah. I walked past this about 5 times before I noticed it too, before I'm all, so, this was how Operation Ivy goes. Well, I guess we'll start another band. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. One of my favorite things here is, yeah, the rejection sheet. Because things come in, demos come in, everyone, they kind of broke it down to a rather simple kind of like system. You fucking suck. Okay, you don't suck, but you're not that good. This is a good, we're a punk rock label, because you would get shit from all, like, well, I got a Calypso band, and I think we should probably be on your list. You guys are pretty good. We're not interested in pretty good. You guys are really good. Really? No shit. That's and sign here, contracts in the mail. Look at that. It's like applying for college or something. Huge ingredient there. And I was in the lobby most of the show too, like you know, hundreds of feet from the stage, and just still like, I was like, oh my. Remember Little Joey's bass, the red one? That's Fat Mike's. That was his version that he got and smashed in the video. But you know, he went on to other kinds of basses. Oh, Jake from Strung Out, his guitar. So much, yeah. There's a lot of stuff in here. There's this picture's great too. Like, it's just, you kind of go. There's so many recognizable characters, and I don't know where that's at. I would like to find out, but I mean, it looks like a friggin' like a airplane hangar or something like that. I'm not sure where that is. Gimme's, Fez. There it is. So Andy Wallace, producer, engineer, This process has evolved so much, like pretty much through the 90s, like the 2-inch tape, 24-track, this whole pain in the ass. You got to go. They're heavy, they're fragile. You got to carry them around. You got to go to the Guitar Center and talk to someone to buy them. It's the worst. So yeah, and anytime I've produced anything, this was always the kind of thing that gave me anxiety. I'm like, oh, where the fuck are the real? I didn't know the side of Joe. I like the leather Joe is a whole new thing to me. That's
Joe Escalante's jacket
is huge. I recognize the bass, the feel of fresh, but look, Joe Escalante with the crossbows is like, wow. Joe was kind of like, he's got a whole other side that I was not aware of. And so we had a record label in Huntington Beach, and at a German village called Old World, and this was the sign we had hanging in front of the...
You were in Old World? That's where it was?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yes, I lived in Old World above the office for 5 years. Old World's a rad place to live in. It's a German shopping center with like cobblestone. They would have wiener dog races every and towards the Wiener Nationals, which they would have at the racetrack, was like the fastest wiener dog. And they constantly, and it's an interesting thing. Like, I think it's an interesting psychological experiment. If you play a song enough that, like, in brainwash rotation, that either it's going to drive you crazy or you're going to love it. Chicken Dance, one of my favorite songs to this day. All day long, like eventually, I'm like, they beat me into submission. Like the whole thing. Not ironically, a huge fan. There's a couple funny things in here that before I joined the Vandals, like not long before, LL Cool J, Public Enemy, the Vandals, Hollywood Palladium. That's an interesting lineup.
Yeah, wow.
Grandmaster Flash, Fishbone, the Vandals. Yeah, and also in testimony to low effort, Stranglers, legendary band in my opinion. I don't know why they were opening up the Vandals there, but also like, you know, the Vandals. I want to be a cowboy Vandals. Just as a, you know, that little extra effort to put a song, but then I don't know. I'm kidding. I admire that. That's a great album, great like.
That's the original artwork
And that's one of those things too. I walk past it a few times tomorrow.
for Against the Grain by Bad
shit,
Religion.
That's a big deal. Oh, that back pop, that bagpipes, 1-to-1 scale. What would you call it? Approved by and fine-tuned by Fletcher himself. This is all the stuff that's. I've been in this room before too. It's interesting because it
Pennywise.
seems almost bigger in here.
The rehearsal space.
Doing the thing. There's Jim, as far away from everyone as possible. Staying by the door, it's probably about 5 degrees cooler. Hermosa Beach. And the only thing that's not real about this is the floor carpet. And what they had to do is, apparently they didn't have it, but they went and picked some up. And Fletcher, in his vision and OCD, had to have it taken out of the parking lot and drive his car over it a bunch of times before he would be allowed to be in here. Otherwise, so he has an eye for detail. But like this is definitely a very familiar environment and classic, just sweatbox.
I know that artist, the little Pennywise.
Oh, okay. Who's that?
It's this Jellicoe. They go to Comic Cons. I see them everywhere.
That's
I'm like,
great.
That's so random that it's here.
Museum-related fact: the beer cans. There was more. The night custodian swept up some of them, thinking it was actual meth. But they were They're more prop beers than proper beers. The Crass Polo is just like. It's so wrong, it's right. That just makes me so happy. Crass is so punk, and then the idea of like a collared shirt, like you wear at the country club or whatever. All the cops, they were smashing windshields, like with their billy clubs. And I'm like, oh wait a second, who's rioting here or what? This is.
It was a helpful.
Yeah, we said I'm all. And it's funny, like that whole the psychology's fascinating because you get all these people and everyone's lost their fucking marbles. It's bizarre for no reason. You usually one person throws one thing and everyone goes ballistic. It's very strange. We're interesting creatures. This is my takeaway from that. When he kicked off this tour, he came up with this. He made up this reason, which is amazing, that he told our agent this. So, the guitar player, me. Oh, yeah, he pooped on a birthday cake. That's why he said we got kicked off the tour. I'm old. I mean, that's whole cloth. Like, that's actually pretty creative. Where'd you come up with it? What kind of sick individual are you? Accusing people of defecating on birthday. There's no one's even fucking birthday. What are you talking about? So we it was just an interesting because we're like, I love the button, and we were like, so we just ended up following them back. This was the Canada, so we followed them back until they let us back on the tour because we were such a pain in the ass. Like we'd hang out in the parking lot all the time, like going, being, the persistence of being a pain in the ass, it paid off. One of the best tutu-wearing guitar player I'm aware of. Like he wore a tutu and nurses uniforms. He definitely was committed to it. And suicidal. This definitely belongs in a museum. Like where you don't have a fan base that buys your T-shirts. They go get Sharpies and get their own work shirts and draw it on the back. Like and I'm curious if anyone's a graphic designer or something. What is the name of this font? Because there's something very distinct. I've never seen it like in any other context. But that Suicidal Tendencies font, I'm just curious about it. You've got the storyboard from Institutionalized, the Pepsi. All I wanted was a Pepsi. There's a time period appropriate Pepsi, Coca-Cola thing, and Louis Bass, beautiful bass, and then this is another thing. That's these are prison shoes, and that's slip-ons. This is the real deal. You can't get this at Target.
Prison shoes.
Yeah, so.
Now we go upstairs for a wedding.
The secular chapel, like whatever, you can do whatever you want. We've got LED sustainable candles and so on and so
Picture of
forth.
Sid and Nancy.
Pews, you can have memorial.
Jam room.
Fletcher from Pennywise. This is his real guitar. This is his real.
Whoa.
You can plug it in. Well, I don't know. The idea is it's like tactile learning. You could pick up. Do you like playing the guitar? Would you like to hold a guitar?
I would love to hold a guitar.
Hold a guitar.
You know.
There you go. Take a picture. Yes, look, man. That's it. It's strung out. You're strung out right now. Yeah.
You'll be the background person that.
Oh, I love photobombing. He plays the bass. It's a real bass. Exactly. Look at that. You're no effects right now. Look at this monstrosity. My God.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Friggin' and it's in the picture. He's really playing it. And just friggin', that's his amp. And then also Eric Melvin's, I believe, it won't be. Yeah. Tim Armstrong, like, okay, fucking, are you kidding me? First of all, it's right. He's left-handed, and that's. Would you like to hold the? First of all, would you like to hold it or check it out or anyone? Okay. It's not like it's a museum. It's a museum, but it's the Swedish model. It's the kind of starter unit, but it's also Elvis Presley played them. He's left-handed, so it's strung left-handed, of course, and which is just it's weird on the mind. It's an interesting exercise to try and do something like that, like doing a mouse. No volume knobs. In other words, it's max volume. Like, which is just a great time saver, I suppose. And I'm not even sure what the switch is for. Maybe it's serious, but does the switch do anything?
He said that's Wesley Willis's keyboard.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah, see?
Second one up there. Come on.
Ring a bell?
Oh,
right.
killer.
The Bullet song is the one I like it. Go to the barber and tell him you're tired of looking like an asshole. Suicide Machines were originally apparently Jack quit, so they just went on to be the Suicide Machines. Great band. We've got and the footwear too. Like, I don't know the story behind Creepers, but I've never seen them in any context other than punk rock people, so I'd be curious if they had some function, like, or, you know.
They're just cute.
They're awesome. Yeah, they're interesting. I just don't know. I'm pitch black. The strings, they didn't take shit off. They just painted them.
Painted the guitar strings.
Cymbals, yeah, all of it, yeah. And just like that flat black, that's, if there's any debate of them being a punk band, this settles it, in my opinion. Everything was scheduled that morning. No one knew when they were going to play. Somewhere
Warped Tour room.
Every band, you had no idea. And so at 10 a.m. they would hand these out to the buses, and so you would find out, try and find your name. Oh, we're playing this, that kind of thing. It, to kind of keep it, what would you call it, democratic or whatever, like, or equal. And like with the fucking undertaking, like that, I don't know. I'm so glad that wasn't my job, because I would forget so many good, like, that's the meticulousness of that is impressive. And signing things, Kevin Lyman's, again, Lisa Johnson, some of her photographs put onto guitars, which is pretty amazing.
We were talking about how the Vandals always do a Christmas album or a Christmas show and Christmas tour, and then I asked him to sign my hat, so he put Christmas on there. He has a year-round Christmas tree as well, just like I do. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed our tour of the Punk Rock Museum with Warren Fitzgerald from the Vandals. I definitely want to come back and go a little slower, but I think taking that tour with him was so awesome. He was so entertaining. I'm sure you guys were as entertained as I was, and for it to be like your all-time favorite punk rocker to give the tour, can't beat that. I want to thank Cindy Hubenthal for becoming my newest Patreon. Thank you all for watching. We will see you all next time from Las Vegas, Nevada. Goodbye.